This is the guy that tried to sive Roy Keane down and got him sent off. That's who he is. That's who he'll always be. And the ball bag who missed a penalty for England. That's who he needs to be remembered as. Not some absolute sparkling water drinking that's got a song by the Atomic Kittens of all people. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is who we're dealing with. You couldn't find a wetter appointment unless you dragged it out of the ocean. It's turd.
Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. This is Off the Bar. My name is Joe. That is Jay. That is Stephen Howson. We are going to be talking about, well, Manchester United, of course. Nice. There's a lot going on. Steve's flipped his lid back because it's business time. There is dressing room unrest at Manchester United, reportedly. Talks coming out about a lack of backing for the manager, which is then leading to the players thinking he's going to go, which maybe then leading to the bad performance. There's a sort of a ball is rolling downhill at Manchester United at the minute, and I don't know what's going to stop it.
It's dunk.
Do you think it is? Do you think that there's a way that this can sort of slow down? It feels as though, do you know when the wheels start turning on a manager leaving? I feel like we're in that now. I didn't think it before the Coventry game. That was a big push. And the Palace game for me, I feel like the way people on social media are talking, the way people on other YouTube channels, the way people in the press, like, it feels like things have changed a little bit. Do you get the same sense?
I do a little bit. I don't put much weight in the YouTube channels or the social media stuff or any of that. What I look at is the fact that you've got people like Dave Brailsford, like Sir Jim Ratcliffe at these games. They go to the matches, they see the crowd reaction, they see this football, they kind of have an understanding of the game of football, which the Glazers never had. And they're watching this, they must be going, really? Like, can we stick with this? That's my sort of worry, because I would like to see tonight get more time, and I keep saying this and people keep giving me pellets for it. What is it you're seeing, Jay? I've been through this a million times. I would like to see him as the manager of Manchester United next season, and I hope he is. I just don't think he will be, I'll be honest with you. I think they're making all these changes, they're watching this football, they're seeing these results, they keep hearing these stats about the most goals conceded since the Tommy Docherty era or whatever, and they think, we can't keep backing this. That's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to get rid of him, and it'll be a shame because it's going to be yet another full reset, which we could probably do without.
What do you think? After the game the other day, and obviously in that mode, it feels like there's no other question. You thought he's done. Do you still think that? Do you think that starting next season we can see a world with Ten Hag as manager, or are we just sort of waiting?
I think you could see him as manager next year.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it. And I think I would hope Brailsford et al. Are a touch more analytical than I didn't feel like it. But I think feelings are probably an over relied on emotion, and I feel like if they're gonna go on gut feeling, I would. My gut feeling would be, I don't see how he turns this around from this moment. But I hope they don't go on gut feeling. I hope they've got more tangible things to work on than gut feeling. And as we said afterwards, I hope that he can be sat down and asked questions and be like, okay, so we saw the interview with Ginev, right? There could be elements of that interview that's propaganda. Yeah. There could be elements of that's him either trying to save his bacon or other things. Like, there could be, like, he owes us nothing, including the truth, to coin a Chael Sonnen phrase, right? That interview could have just been him just spinning yarns for the entire thing. I don't suspect it was. I reckon there was probably enormous portions of the truth in there, but I also think he would have been holding some things back. What I would hope is that new management squad that we've assembled can sit down with him on a round table. It's not antagonistic, you see.
Yeah, we're all in this together. Yeah.
And ask him some questions, because you go, right, okay, so you said this, the evidence says this, we see this, give us your take. What's the issues, and how do we go from Crystal Palace game to, let's say, beating Arsenal next season home and away, or beating Manchester City home and away next season? How do we go from that to comfortable Champions League qualifications? Everyone around this table at the end of next season goes, oh, didn't we step forward this year? Yeah. How do we go from that to that? And then I would like him to give, like, answers. Like, and we're not going to get to see that. I hope we don't even get to hear about it if that's happened, because that's another issue that he's got to deal with. But I hope that that's the sort of thing that's going on. And I hope I hope the decision on whether he is the manager at Manchester United next season and beyond, or he's not the manager at Manchester United next season or beyond, is because of the answers to that. Not the feeling in the ground, not the results, because results lie to you. You can have better performances than results suggest, and you can have worse performances than results suggest. So I hope they don't just go on the binary good result, bad result, and I hope that they look into the deeper things that are going on at the football club, some of the mitigating circumstances behind it, but also sit down with him and with those football people, Blanc, Barada, obviously Brailsford's not a football person, but he is an analyst, Wilcox, everyone that's getting involved, and sit there, have frank, honest discussion, to the point where he can sit there and go, the recruitment has been dog shit. We thought Anthony was worth 25, we paid 80 for him. Left me no money for other players. I don't think anyone's feelings get hurt if he's that frank, and I think that's how frank he has to be with these.
For the first time, he did sort of hint at that in that interview, didn't he? Yeah. About wanting De Jong and not getting him, and wanting Kane and not getting him, or not being able to get him. He was a little bit more combative than he has been. So there is one sort of school of thought, Jay. I say one school of thought. Chris Wheeler's written an article for the Mail, but I think it sort of reflects what a lot of people are thinking. He's saying that there is potentially some issues inside the dressing room, considering, or because of the fact that INEOS haven't really publicly backed him. The players are now putting two and two together and concluding that he's not going to be here next season. So, obviously we'll try, but he's not going to be the manager, so does it really matter? Do you think INEOS should have done more to assure us that he'll be here, or do you think they're sort of stuck in a position where you can't back this guy who's playing terrible football and losing games, but if you don't, players start to think he's getting sacked?
I think me and Steve might have spoken about it on the brew. I think you said no, absolutely not. What am I on about? We definitely did not talk about it on the brew. But I think when you spoke about it, might have been after the game once, where you said it'd be good if they came out and said that, and then you'd know that could be a statement when they very first took over of look, he's going to be the manager. They came in
and said, we're doing this to the stadium, we're doing this, that, and the other, we're doing a manager. We're doing this to the stage.
So here's I've got the quote to remind people. So Jim Ratcliffe, when asked about Ten Hag, said, "I don't think it's appropriate to talk about individuals. What I would say in respect to the coach is that in the last 11 years, United have had a lot of coaches, and nobody has been very successful in that Manchester United environment. That says to me that there's something wrong with the environment. It's not constructive for me to blame anyone. It's just a fact. It hasn't been. My focus is on the future. How do I change that environment to get the best out of the coach and out of the squad?" So it's sort of taking the blame off the manager, but not praising the manager by any means either.
Or offering any level of security.
No, and there were people looked at what he said about Arteta as well, about Arsenal showing patience. He's like, does that mean he's going to back the manager? Listen, regardless of whether he could come out or not, I still think every player should be trying their best for Manchester United. We had this on the
Ragnick as a barometer. Oh, you've down tools, have you? Yeah. Cool, bye.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I'm sick of it, because we had it last season, and the excuse then was some of these players know that Ralph Ragnick's not going to be here next season. So they're not. What? So you going up and playing against Liverpool? You're not giving your all.
You have a 5-year contract. Play like it.
Yeah. You're earning a lot of money playing for one of the biggest clubs in the world. There's thousands and not millions of fans that absolutely die to be in a position you're in, and you're telling me you can't be bothered because the manager might be leaving in 2 months. Yeah. That's nonsense. It should not be happening.
You go into Costa Coffee and they refuse to sell you a cappuccino because the manager's leaving. He's handed his notice in. You're an employee at Manchester United. You're not just the product of a manager. You're literally paid to work as hard as you can.
And also, even if you don't rate this manager, if you're playing, he's picking you.
Yeah.
He's choosing you to start for Manchester United or play for Manchester United. So you can't sulk with him that much. It's not like he's not playing you. Yeah. It's like he's playing me, he's picking me, and he's entrusting me to get the results. But I'm not going to do it because he's leaving soon. I can't be bothered. What?
It annoys me a bit.
What logic is that?
There's weird acceptance within football that the players are almost like basically children, and the manager is basically the teacher. And every thought that the player has is given to them by the manager. And if they do something bad, it's because the manager didn't give them the right thought or the right... these are adults as well, who should have their own respect and their own standards.
They're elite athletes.
Exactly.
That are autonomous.
Yeah.
So you think, did Roy Keane ever need motivating prior to a game? No. He might have needed calming down before a game, but you didn't need to G him up. Do you think do you think Cantona needed to be told, hey, be nice if you actually participated in some of the stuff that's going on the pitch today? No. All of these players are elite. Fucking hell, the helmets at my level, think they're the best player in the world. I can't imagine what the actual best players in the world think that they are. Yeah. So, like, the ego alone should just force them into turning up. Like, a good leader, if it's gone west with a manager, a good leader would be like, forget him. We do it for us. Like, I'm doing it for me.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it, that people sort of take all responsibility off the players sometimes, especially when things are going wrong. It's only up to the manager to fix it. And you think, well, these are adults, and especially nowadays, obviously Ten Hag isn't, but sometimes you'll have a manager who's younger than the oldest player in the squad. And you think, why has he got to tell him everything like he's, a kid looking up to his dad? He work together a little bit here.
Like, I saw a tweet earlier, or a post on X, I should say.
Call it Twitter.
Sorry.
It's Twitter.
About Luka Modric and how in the Champions League semi-final against Bayern Munich he was battling for the ball to stop a Bayern goal in the last minute, and the standards and all that. And it reminded me, I remember it being at Upton Park once in a League Cup game, you'll remember this, when I think it was Jonathan Spector bizarrely scored 2 goals against us. We lost 4-0 and it started snowing. It's a League Cup, third round or whatever. Away at West Ham, Fergie played pretty much the resis. We weren't really fussed. We got battered. In the last minute of that game, I'll never forget this. It's snowing. Who cares? It's a League Cup. United didn't even bother with it around that time. Ryan Giggs chasing down a lost cause. He ran the full length of the pitch to put a tackle in a lost cause. The most successful player in the history of British football in a game that is pretty much meaningless, playing alongside the reserves against the West Ham team that are 4-0 up. But the standards were there. He kept going because it was I am representing Manchester United. I am going to try and make that tackle. I'm going to try and win this game. And that's someone who's had loads of success. A lot of these players, they've won one trophy. If, you know what I mean? They've won the Carabao Cup. I'm not trying to belittle it because I loved it when we won it. But that's it for some of them, or for a lot of them. And yet you think they'd be motivated to try and win more trophies, to try and make the international squad or the England squad, whatever it is for the Euros, to try and get us up the table and play in the Champions League next season. I'm talking about a player that had won everything and still kept going. Some of these haven't won out. No. And now we're hearing, we can't be bothered because the manager might be going. If it's true, and I know Chris is a decent journalist, I'm not saying he's made it up, but if it is true, then that is disgusting. And we're here again. We was here under Rangnick. We're here again under another manager. He's leaving, so why bother? All right, nice one. Yeah, why should we bother as fans getting behind you?
It's ridiculous. And the slight tweak on that, but it's a similar point about players expressing themselves in terms of passion. Like Bruno Fernandes is one who will chase back 75 yards, past defenders, past other midfielders to tackle someone. And he doesn't do that because the Ten Hag tells him to. He does that because that's innate within him. As always, Off the Bar is brought to you by Green King Sport, where football is more than just a game. And this week we have something very, very special. Green King and Carlin are pairing up to bring the Paddock community 2 tickets to the FA Cup final.
To enter, click the link in the description, like the post, follow GK Sport and tag who you're taking. Honestly, it couldn't be easier.
And you have until midnight tonight to go and enter. So if you're seeing this now, go and click it, go and join and enter now for your chance to win 2 free tickets to the FA Cup final. Go and check them out. Ancelotti was talking about what being a coach is. And obviously there is an obsession with tactics, and somewhat rightly so. You look over the last 15 years, the managers who were very tactically sort of astute have tended to be the more successful ones. So you can't pretend tactics don't exist. But Ancelotti isn't in the game of
that might be sort of like result bias though, because there'll be all sorts of like proper tactics nerds in League One.
Yeah, of course. That's a great point. Yeah, and I've got a really good quote from Ancelotti, who was talking about, you know, letting players play and what basically players doing stuff themselves, which is so out of fashion these days, it's ridiculous. But here he is in another Champions League final. He said the mistake that the new generation of coaches make is giving too much information to the players in the game with the ball. This takes away creativity. It's one thing to indicate to a player the position without the ball. There you have to give a lot of information, because without the ball it's concentration, sacrifice and collective play. But with the ball, it depends on the creativity of the player. If Vinicius or Rodrigo feel more comfortable opening up a bit more on the wings when the team has the ball, I'm not going to tell them to stay inside, because it's an individual interpretation of the game. I don't do it because I don't want to take away everyone's creativity. Not that means that Pep is crap or tactics are bad, but I think this obsession that there is only one way to do things and it all comes as a dictate from the manager to the players, I think some of that is overrated. I do think that like players should be able to understand for themselves. If he's going past me, I should probably track him. I should probably do that. I should probably make a bit of space for myself on the wing here.
He's talking about that. He's correct in terms of, I think that you have to organise your team, and that's the bit that you can get a bit more dictatorial with, which is what do we do without the ball? And weirdly, that's where United look like we're uncoached at the moment.
True.
You have the flip side is where Louis van Gaal's got squares where you stand when we have the ball and do not stand off my fucking square. That's where you stand with the ball. And I agree to a certain extent that team was pretty organised, pretty hard to beat. I think we had a record number of clean sheets with Chris Smalling and Daley Blind, if I'm right.
It was certainly good.
Yeah, under Louis. We couldn't score a fucking goal. Didn't see a goal at the East Stand for the whole fucking season. So we couldn't score. And I think there's a lot of merit to that. And I think I entirely agree with your point that there's this sort of obsession with you have to play this certain way. When I don't think that's the case in the slightest. I think, there was there has been this sort of clamour for tiki-taka, overly technical, kind of overload football. But you got to remember at the time that this has been successful. Leicester won a league playing counter-attack. Atletico Madrid have been to Champions League finals and won the Ligas by essentially playing like a 4-4-2 counter-attack sort of system. There's been... Okay, I think Xabi Alonso's maybe doing it a little bit different. Very impressive. I think are they on 49 or they go 49 if they win this evening? What they're doing is very, very impressive. It is not the only way. It is not the only way. And I think football does come in cycles. Like, there was lots of different styles of play in the 90s. In England, there was a bit of a preference for the sort of direct percentage wing play and sticking it in the mix for the big man, small man sort of affair, whereas Italy seemed to love a back three a little bit more, love the number 10. Like there's always been sort of traits to leagues and this, that and the other, but there isn't just one way to do it at all. And Real Madrid, they might be a Spanish club, but do they play what you would call like a stereotypical Spanish way of playing? Absolutely not. And I think Ancelotti has sort of really represented that really well with his Real Madrid sides. Like, his Chelsea side was similar. What was his style of play? It's quite hard to pin down what their style of play was. What's their style of play? Wait till the last minute and fucking win by the look of it.
Yeah. And Zidane at Madrid had people said a lot of similar things about him, which is they don't massively control possession against other elite high possession teams. They won't outdo you. They're not like, there's not an obvious, here's what we do when we're in possession. It's just make the most and let your best players shine. And obviously that relies on you having the best players, which may be why Ancelotti didn't work out at Everton or whatever. But do you think that, obviously Ten Hag back to United, he's been criticised a lot for tactics and stuff, and he clearly has a tactical vision. We saw it at Ajax, we've seen bits of it at United. Do you think that that's him being criticised on only that, or being a main thing is a little bit unfair, or do you think that with better players we would see that vision come through a bit more? Because you still, tactics don't make up for bad players. No. I'm not saying we're bad, but we're a league or two away from where we want to be in terms of squad quality.
Sometimes I think that obviously tactics matter, and they do matter. There's no point in saying they don't.
I'd push back on that last thing that you just said there, actually, which is where tactics don't make bad players good players. Or you said something to that effect. I actually disagree. I think good tactics can elevate a team.
Elevate, but I don't. But you still, City have got very good players.
Well,
and very
this
good
is what I mean with the tactics
neither.
thing. With City's a good example because it almost gets forgotten that City have the best squad, the best 11 players.
Yeah, 25.
25 players, probably in the world. And they have had, for about 6 of the last 7 seasons, they've had the best team in the world, I would say. They've won 1 Champions League. Why? Because I think there's been times when the tactics have been wrong. They've got in the way. It's been like overthinking. Why did Tottenham beat him? Why did Chelsea beat him in the Champions League? Why did Lyon beat him? Were all these teams better than City? No. Because it was like, let's change it tactically. Let's drop Rodri. I know I keep going on about it, but it was a big call and it failed. Yet over the course of a league season, City finish on top because they've got the best team. So they're always going to finish on top. So when you're going back to United, part of the problem that United have got is we haven't got the best team. We haven't got, probably with the injuries we've got, even the 6th best team, or we might have the 6th best team. And also, tactically, we have been found wanting at times as well. There's no point in denying that. I mean, out of possession at times, you're looking at it going, what are we even doing?
Yeah.
And I'm the last person to question tactics, but even I can see that. So there's a little bit of both. I think there is. And I feel for Ten Hag because I feel that if he did, I know it's a big if he did have Lisandro Martinez, if he did have Luke Shaw, if he did have the Casemiro that we had last season, it would have been completely different. And dare I say, maybe if they got Frankie de Jong, it would be different as well, and Harry Kane. But you do have to work with what you got, and you should be getting better performances out of the team than what we've been getting. However, going back to my original point, I would like to see him given a chance next season with the players, or at least most of the players, that he feels can do what he needs to do.
Yeah. In that article as well, there was a talk of it looking increasingly likely that Ten Hag won't be here. What, like...
Joe, if it's Gareth Southgate, I'm going to smash this place up.
Well,
have you addressed that?
Let's talk about Gareth Southgate. Let's talk about it because...
Why?
So it's not live, so we're okay.
Let me paint the picture for why...
Ethan, get my bayonet, please.
Yeah, get the bayonet.
Fix bayonet.
Let me give you the argument as to why someone might think Southgate is a good idea.
Oh, you're fucking serious.
Right.
Yeah.
No. I need to say this as well. This is him playing devil's advocate.
Yeah. This is me.
Don't blame him for what he's going to say.
If Gareth Southgate is to become the next Man United manager, these are the reasons why I think it could happen. Right? If it is to happen, this is why it would happen. He seems to have a good interpersonal relationship with his players. One thing that United have struggled with over the last few seasons is fallouts within the camp. Look at the Sancho, the Ronaldo situation, like people sort of blowing up and leaving. We need a team that is likeable, that like each other, that can perform.
No, fuck that.
Okay.
Roy Keane hated Peter Schmeichel. Roy Keane hated Terry Sheringham for some reason. I think it was just Ferrari related. Peter Schmeichel seemed to hate everybody. Terry Sheringham and Andy Cole didn't talk to each other. Won the fucking lot.
But what kept that together? What kept that under wraps?
Fear.
From
Fergie.
Yeah.
So obviously Southgate doesn't have that. I don't think Gareth Southgate.
But wasn't Ollie just supposed to be giving out hugs and fucking this, that, and the other? That didn't work. So, I mean, I think
you talk about it though. We were talking about tactics. Have you seen anything from Gareth Southgate tactically that makes you think he can go toe to toe with Pep Guardiola or Stephen Alson or Ange Postecoglou or Unai Emery or Mikel
there isn't
Arteta?
a single game in 8 years that he's won tactically.
No, I think you're right.
A great man once said, the mistake of new generation of coaches is giving too much information about what to do with the ball. I wish so much that was actually a Southgate quote and not an Ancelotti one. It is an Ancelotti one. But maybe the fact that he doesn't do any tactics is a good thing. Eh? Thoughts? Huh?
But
like, who's he beat? I'll tell you who's beat.
Yeah.
Moldova.
Panama.
Germany.
Tunisia.
San Marino.
Right, the Germany one.
No,
right.
there is no the Germany one.
No, it is. Germany were ranked 16th in the world at the time. I think they'd only beaten Liechtenstein in that calendar year.
Yeah, but we always are ranked like second in the world, and we've never beaten.
He lost to Italy. We should have beat Italy. We should have beat Italy.
Yeah,
we should have, especially when we took the lead.
All right, so you give him that one then.
We should have beat Italy.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. So
should
that
have beat Croatia when we took the lead.
No, because if Jose Mourinho goes 1-0 up in a Euros final, he does not lose that final.
He wins that game.
Yeah.
Also, we should have beat France.
But in the sense
brings
that
Rashford on for what, 6 minutes at the end?
The top scorer, and then Sterling, who's not trained all week.
He's been at home watching fucking Love Island, hasn't he?
Look at the France players' reaction when he took off Saka. I'm not Saka's biggest fan, but he was tearing them apart. They were high-fiving when they saw he was leaving the pitch. They were like, oh my God, what a result. It was nonsense. It was so poor from Gareth Southgate, that.
Now, you still might have got carved up by Argentina because the stars may have aligned for them to do that regardless. But there isn't once where he's done it, even against the shit teams that you're definitely beating, he's done absolutely cock all.
So in the sense that Real Madrid sort of win games on kind of aura and destiny and all this sort of stuff, England are the exact opposite end of the spectrum, where we have to overcome every bit of history, every bit of, if it can go wrong, it's gone wrong. He's won penalty shootouts with England. He's beat Germany in a tournament with England. He's got to finals and semi-finals, which we hadn't done in 30 years. And the way he's done it hasn't happened in 70 years.
Can I remind you, was you here on Off the Bar a few weeks ago? It might have been me, you and Joe McGrath. There's a thumbnail on Off the Bar. I want you to go and look at it. It's a Southgate's Liverpool, and it's got me, him and Joe McGrath laughing our heads off on the thumbnail.
That's going to really come back and get clipped.
Massively. So we're gonna suffer.
Private that video.
Yes. In fact, don't look at that video because it doesn't exist. We never made it.
Right. Brazil that England lost to in 2002.
Decent team.
You may have heard of Roberto Carlos, Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Ronaldinho. The current Brazil team is Martinelli, Anthony, and Andreas Pereira. When I'm talking that the international football scene is dead, I'm talking dead, Joe. Like, it is dead. There's no one resuscitating that.
I don't know. I think France are pretty elite level.
Outside of France, I'll give you that. France is the one international team where you go, wow, good players in every position. Every single other international team.
But how's that
is
work?
on a
Also,
down-
as well,
How does that
we
work,
have this
though?
problem, right? We spoke earlier about there's this problem sometimes with the players and the amount of respect they give managers and the fact that if Erik Ten Hag's going to go, some players have already down tools. Do you honestly think that, I know you're not saying we should get Southgate, but a lot of those players in that dressing room, who, especially ones that are English, are going to respect Gareth Southgate when he walks through that door?
What's he done?
What's
Got
he
relegated
won?
twice.
He got relegated twice. Oh, he's managed in the Premier League before. Oh, how did he get on? He got relegated. And then he got sacked in the
With a
Championship.
team that was like playing European football under Steve McLaren,
Yeah.
by the way.
I don't think he's going to command the respect of anyone.
Okay.
Going to go in there and, well, I'll tell you what.
So,
no,
Have you heard my song?
Yeah.
Southgate,
so the things that you two have said
no.
there, I completely agree.
Yeah.
But I think that, you know,
Well,
you never want
say but.
you never want to speak on behalf of United fans because I'm just a United fan. But I've not really seen any United fans think it's a good idea. And yet the rumours keep going. Like, other than he's English and INEOS know him, why would we get him? Because the rumours are real. I'm not saying that he will definitely come, but I'm not making up that he's linked with us.
No.
Do you know what
What's
it is
the
with Gareth
reason for it
Southgate
then?
as well? He's the ultimate sort of yes man. He's the guy that can go in that room with the board or
Yeah,
with
and
the
they go,
FA.
hey, am I getting a load of new signings? They go, absolutely not. But you are going to tell the pressure happy with
Yeah, no problem, guys. I'll do
getting
that.
Fred on loan.
Do you know what I mean? He's the kind of guy that sits in the room with the FA and explains his decisions. Where other managers will be like, fuck off, I'm not telling you what to do. You don't understand football. He is that guy. That's why he got the job and kept it. And I think that's why INEOS might look at him and go, here's a guy that will pretty much do as he's told and not moan about it. If we go, you ain't having a transfer budget this summer because we're cutting back. That might be a reason. Might be. But it shouldn't be a good enough reason.
Any manager you can think of. Think of those iconic photographs we've got of Don Carlo smoking a cigar after the Champions League and stuff like that, right? Think of, like, you can imagine Jose Mourinho getting on it with the lads. Huddles at the end of the night, fucking me and you, let's go in that kebab shop and fuck everyone up. Like, you can see Jose Mourinho having a bit of that.
Yeah.
I can see Gareth Southgate going to bed early and reading a fucking book to bore. You know what I mean? You've just won the fucking treble. Not that it ever happened under him, which is why he's not got a practice of what to do when you do something fucking good. But this is the guy that tried to sive Roy Keane down and got him sent off. That's who he is. That's who he'll always be. And the fucking ball bag who missed a penalty for England. That's who he needs to be remembered as. Not some fucking absolute sparkling water drinking fuck that's got a song by the Atomic Kittens of all people. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is who we're dealing with. You couldn't find a wetter fucking appointment unless you dragged it out of the ocean. It's fucking turd.
I love that. The Atomic Kittens.
Yeah, that's what my mum calls them. The Atomic Kittens. So, all right then, you don't like Southgate, I think. I don't know.
Stop sitting on the fence,
didn't
Dave.
make it very
Jesus
clear
Christ.
there,
For
but
once on this channel, can you just give us an opinion?
I actually think I'll have an aneurysm if they appoint Southgate as a manager. Like, I really couldn't think of...
Can I just...
outside of Luis Suarez, John Terry dual managership, I can't think of anything fucking worse.
The bloke in Morrison stopped me before and he said, if we appoint Southgate, I'm getting my United tattoo removed. That's what he said to me.
I love that.
Yeah, that's the passion
And
that people
getting
have got
Southgate
for
one
not
foot on in
having
place of it.
Gareth Southgate as the United manager. It's insane.
South Manchester United.
Yeah.
One of the other options, big name, Tuchel. He's free. He's leaving Bayern. He's got some success with the Premier League side, but not in the Premier League as a competition. He did pretty good with PSG. He did all right, but not really all right with Bayern. But he's won trophies everywhere he's been.
you know
He's
what?
fallen out with
Everywhere
people
he's been
everywhere
as
he's
well.
been. He's been sacked
He'd
everywhere
be a
he's been.
good...
Did he get sacked at Dortmund?
I don't remember.
He'd be a good threat to these players if I was INEOS and they weren't playing for Erik Ten Hag. Say, if you don't pull your socks up, I'll get Thomas Tuchel in.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you think he's a threat?
I
don't
think
know if he's
so.
a threat, you know.
I think he is. I think he's the
can't
kind of
work
manager who come in, drop players who think they can't be dropped, bollock everyone, make
work
them
in-
run
Is that not
drills
what
they don't
some
want to do.
people- Is that not what people think United need, though?
Isn't that what Ten Hag did?
Yeah. Like, is
Yeah.
Is that the problem? He's got
Yeah,
too
but
many
that would- I think the players would be
sausages in
like,
the
no.
squad that'll all like can't wait to fucking text the MEM. Like, isn't that the issue? Isn't that what we need to do? Start recruiting on fucking character.
Yeah, no, we do need to do that. The trouble with Tuchel is, on the whole, his spell at Bayern has been pretty disastrous.
poor.
It has.
Yes,
Like, not sorry.
Like,
I think it's been poor.
It's been poor then.
Yeah.
Okay, He got to a Champions League semi-final. That's not a disaster. But finishing a distant second to Bayer Leverkusen in the league.
But like Leverkusen are having like an all-time great.
And even that first season, I know he won it, and that's all that matters.
They haven't lost.
But he won it on the last day because Dortmund threw it away. Dortmund threw that title away. He didn't win that.
But do you know what though? If we blagged the title, I'd still celebrate it.
Of course I would. And 100% I would. I just think in the context of Bayern Munich and being a manager there, if your record is lost the title by a country mile and won it on the last day of the season because Dortmund drew and if they'd have won it, I don't think that's great.
No,
I'll be honest with you.
It's not. And it's obviously not. And also there's the other argument, the other side is teams don't win the league 20 years in a row. Nowhere. It just doesn't happen because it's so hard to keep those standards. But I agree with you. Maybe he could have seen that coming. Maybe he could have analysed the relationship that other managers had recently had with the owners and the board at Bayern Munich, and if he'd have been a bit smarter, he would have said, actually, this might not be for me.
I would say, though, sorry to insult you, just quickly, I would much prefer Tuchel than Southgate.
Yes.
If it was given, like, Southgate makes me do things that Steve was talking about. Tuchel, I wouldn't be for that, but I could live with it. Do you know what I mean? It's not an appointment I'd agree with, but I wouldn't cancel my season.
I'm not advocating for Tuchel here, but
no, I'm not.
When I think about Fergie for 2004, 2005, 2006, and how long it took him to sort of change us from the treble team and the weird Van Nistelrooy-led team into what became the sort of 2008 Champions League winning team. He signed every player that was in that team. There wasn't a hangover from fucking Big Ron left in 2005. No. There wasn't. That was his team that he'd been ultra successful with. Like, what was the excuse for Fergie in 04, 05, 06? Now, I can remember those days, and actually I can remember people screaming for Sven.
People wanted to get rid of him.
Yeah, and people wanted him gone. And there was articles in loads
Oliver
of
Holt might be...
was it a big one?
His ears might be burning.
Is it?
He said it's time to go for you, like, not like the article
I think
based on that.
Did one of them call him a dinosaur as well, of a bygone era and stuff? Like, there was all those sorts of things.
Well, it was
around.
like, you looked at it, it was Wenger had just done that season where they drew 12 games and got beat 6 times.
Chelsea under Mourinho were scary prospects.
And then Benitez in 2005 wins the Champions League.
Yeah.
And it's like, hang on a minute, Fergie's getting left behind here. And he's also, not that guy anymore.
This is off the back of, when was it, 2002, where he said he was going to leave.
Yeah.
So then you've also got that fuel of, well, he wanted to go anyway, and it's been not great since.
Yeah.
It's time for him to go.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, with Tommy Tuchel's thingy at Bayern, are you judging a team that requires a dismantling? And there's no easy way to dismantle a team and build a new one. Like, there is going to be an inevitable drop-off. They don't generally spend the sort of dough that you see slung around at like Chelsea and City and us to a certain degree, or Paris. He hasn't been there that fucking long in the grand scheme of things. It went west for him at Chelsea, new owner.
I can almost give him a pass for that. I can almost give him a pass for the Todd Burley nonsense.
He was almost, I think he's like one of the fucking, in the Premier League era, like their 5th longest manager or something like that.
Yeah,
they've had more managers than they've had fucking
He did
dinners.
well at Chelsea overall.
Yeah.
Wait, let's not belittle winning the Champions League.
Paris is, no one's really done what Paris want at Paris. His win rate was like 73%.
But he came closest, didn't he? Got to the final. Like, no one's got him to the Champions League final than it. And that's it, isn't it? Yeah.
It's gone west for him everywhere he's been.
Yeah.
But he's been a level of success. Like you say, he won a league on the last day of the season. You don't need on the last day of the season. You need he won a league.
Yeah.
And I think that means he was successful at Dortmund first time round, right? Did
he won a cup. He won the German cup.
He didn't win a title.
No.
So he's been a success though, even if it's not a title everywhere. Everywhere. I don't think there's another guy like that in the world at the moment that's gonna be available. It's mad that he is available. It's mad that they sacked him like 3 months ago and he's nearly took him to the Champions League final.
Do you think he's a better manager than Erik ten Hag?
He might be.
What do you reckon? You watched a lot of Ajax.
I didn't watch that much.
But you were very supportive.
I've done more research since.
And I know you've watched a lot of Thomas Tuchel's teams.
Yeah. I like Thomas Tuchel. I worry about his personality. I know that Ten Hag hasn't exactly got on with everyone, but I do think there's a big ego there with Tuchel. And I think that...
Name a good manager without one.
Yeah, but it sometimes can be a positive thing and sometimes can be a negative thing. And he doesn't last places very long. He never has. Even when it's been successful for one reason or another, it's 2 years.
Is it worth analysing why that's been the case?
Maybe, yeah. And maybe it's not his fault, but if you have a decade of it, that's what people think about you. It almost doesn't matter how... Like last night, I don't even necessarily blame him for them going out taking Kane off if you didn't have to, maybe wasn't a great idea.
The subs weren't great.
The subs weren't great. But Neuer dropping the ball at the feet of Real Madrid player in the
offside
88th
call as well.
minute.
Both of those things
that's not
going
his
the
fault.
other way around. Yeah.
He
And he's in a Champions League final.
Exactly. And you've beaten Real Madrid in the Bernabeu in the Champions League, which is impossible.
Is there an argument then if he did have some success at United? If he'd have done at United what he did at Chelsea, he wouldn't have got sacked.
No.
He wouldn't have got sacked the following season after winning the Champions League. He wouldn't. I know we sacked managers, but not like that.
Chelsea.
Do you know what I mean? He wouldn't have, would he? If he'd have done what he did at Paris Saint-Germain at United, he wouldn't have got sacked.
Well, winning the league.
Yeah, or even at Bayern Munich. If he won a title and got to a semi-final in 2 seasons, United, we wouldn't sack him.
But then.
So my point is, I'm not saying, but is it not a case that if he actually brought what he's brought to those teams to us, would he not be here for a little while longer? Because I don't feel like he's necessarily wanted to leave. I think Bayern Munich said we've had enough here.
We're almost talking about
have gone had enough here.
Such a different level of standards at the moment. We're fucking 8th.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, so if he's actually doing all right, the board would probably keep him in the job, and I'm guessing he'd probably be happy to stay in his job. So, do you think there was an argument that perhaps
Just doesn't feel like a United manager.
he's not?
And I think that
He's not had the chance.
doing all right by
perhaps he
United
would get.
standards. I know Chelsea winning the Champions League is sort of like us winning the Champions League next season, not next season, the year after. But I think that like if Jose did all right with what he had. I think Ten Hag last season did all right with what he had, and one bad year and you're gone. So he could next season come in, win the FA Cup, finish 3rd. The year after, if it's a season like this, as we're looking down the barrel of, he'll be sacked anyway. Unless he wins the Champions League or the Premier League, you don't get a season of being shit. That's my concern with where we are with Ten Hag now, is that Tuchel could easily have had the last season that Ten Hag had, and we would have said that was actually better than we thought. He's won a title, with a Carabao Cup. He's finished top 4. No one's ever won a title and finished top 4 in the last decade. Well done, Thomas Tuchel. Good stuff. Season after, you're not very good, you're gone. Like, he has to win Premier League or Champions League, or you're gone after a good year. And I think, well, we're in that situation now. Why don't we give him a bit more time?
I want us to give Erik Ten Hag a chance. The only reason I was asking about Tuchel is I think that there's a case that maybe his bad season wouldn't be this bad. Maybe his bad season would be finishing 5th.
My issue is,
do you know what I mean?
From seeing the GNM interview where it's kind of like, hey, I can't play how I want to play because I ain't got the players that I want to play it. Half of me's going, I don't think you're ever going to have the players all the time to play how you want to play. And that reluctance to do what Ollie did at times where he goes, we're going to the Etihad, we're going to get a result. I don't give a fuck how we play, we're getting a result. I don't see him having that in him at the moment. And that is what, perhaps my opinion on him has changed. I still lean towards let's wait and see how it goes, because the first year was good. You can caveat it how you want with, well, Marcus played well and Lee played well and that guy played well. Yeah, cool. It was a good season. Yeah. This season, objectively bad season.
Yeah.
I think that you can caveat that as well.
Can I just ask you one question, Steve, when you finish? Go and finish your point.
I think on the balance of probabilities, and I don't think the manager fixes as many things as people think, I would like to see how he does next season. But I can't get over, out of his own fucking mouth, that he's like, it's going to take too long to learn a new way to play. I go, every good manager I've seen has been able to adapt to a certain situation. We're going to the Etihad, we're going to get a result. And we're going to get a result like this. Or we're going to Anfield, right, well, we're not going to play the way I want to play. Like, it's...
We did that a bit this season, I thought, at Anfield. We sat back and counter-attacked.
We did, yeah.
Noticeably different to the year before with the 7-0.
Well, yeah.
Did you put any weight in this FA Cup final in terms of his future?
I fucking hope not, Jay, because I'm 5% sure we're going to win.
Yeah, you're being generous. What about you? Do you think there's any chance that could have a bearing on his future?
If we play brilliantly and win 3-1, or like a convincing 2-0 win with a real what are we like?
How's that going to happen?
No, but it won't.
All right. Then
sentence.
Flip side to that. Do you think that if they are considering him and he gets battered in the FA Cup final, that he's done?
I think even the performance in the FA Cup final last season, which the game was over after 15 seconds, because if you give Man City a 1-0 lead going into every game last season, they would win every game of the season. So we essentially gave them the game by conceding a goal in the 14th second or whatever it was. But it was at least a close-ish game. The end of that game happened, or the last 10 minutes of the game, United could still win it.
Yeah.
If if it's like that this season and we lose, I think it won't change INEOS's perspective. If it's like a 4-0 loss or like the 2-0 at Old Trafford against City under Solskjaer, where we just did nothing.
It was a training.
It was a
game.
training lads versus dads game, and we couldn't touch the ball. And the players look like they've down tools, and Casemiro's diving in, and Rashford's throwing his arms up, and Bruno's falling out with people, and all these negative things that we're seeing. If that happens, it could be the final nail in the coffin. Yeah, definitely. These are big games that do matter more than other games. It shouldn't be the only thing that matters.
You're saying this means more.
I'm saying this means more.
This would be like, if we win it, it'd be like 5 times everyone else's won.
It'd be like 5 times City win it.
Like 5
I think
times,
6 times actually.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Because Liverpool's is 5, so we must be 6.
Ours is 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. I kind of agree.
Just in terms of
Let's fuck that off. Can we talk about where we're going tonight?
Yeah.
In about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
The premiere of the 99 documentary.
Yeah. Have you Googled whether we can pull our cocks out or not?
I don't need to.
Okay.
Because we're going to let Google tell us what to do. You know what I mean? So when has that bothered us?
So when you see the papers tomorrow and it was like YouTubers masturbating in the print works,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Stop making it weird. You're the weird ones. Why wouldn't
Why are
we?
you looking at it?
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a film premiere before?
Yes.
Have you?
Sort of.
What?
It was a premiere in London of Nowhere Boy,
What's that?
a film about John Lennon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it was all right.
I've been to that early
Scouts
screening.
version of Take That.
Yeah.
Wow.
Beautiful. Love
Unbelievable.
that. Scouts.
Would he
version.
be? He'd be the Gary Barlow version.
John Lennon?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I think McCartney would be the Gary Barlow. I think Lennon would be the Robbie Williams.
Why?
Because McCartney's the smiley, happy, PC, PG face.
My idea of a lovely
Yeah.
day.
And Lennon is this sort of, I'm doing my own thing. Yoko Ono's here now. Better get used to it. Bit more of a rebel. Robbie
Right,
Williams.
okay. Yeah, I get that.
Have you ever been to a film premiere before?
Yeah, my man of means, mate.
What?
He's in them every week.
What have you been to?
I've been to a few. I can't remember.
Have you really?
The Busby one.
A few.
Yes.
Yeah, the Busby one.
I did a Football Manager one.
Football Manager film.
Wasn't quite the red carpet experience you expect.
Well, Football Manager the game.
The
What do you mean by
film?
Yeah, there was a film about it, or a documentary about it, man.
About the game that is Football Manager.
Yeah.
What?
It's been like cited in like divorces and shit. Like, yeah, Football Manager's an interesting thing.
Yeah, interesting phenomenon. Well, I've never been to one before.
Have you not?
We went to that early screening of Nope, but it
Yeah, we
wasn't
did.
the premiere with like the stars there and
No,
that
but it's like that.
Yeah.
sort of thing.
There's like a little bit of a mingly area.
Yeah.
There's canapes. And then it's go
Are
sit
you
down.
going to go full turbo, fanboy? Oh my God, there's David Beckham. I need a selfie. Or are you going to try and play it cool?
No, I fucking course I'm not.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to get within 50 feet of him.
But you'll try.
But yeah, I fucking guarantee I'm going to try.
lad.
I'm going to look like I'm going to try and do a man marking job that'll make Ander Herrera look proud.
Lad.
Like I'm
Lad.
going to be all over him. Do you want to go have to follow him to the toilets? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Steve's
'Cause
already in the
Do you think if my story is so what happened?
He's in a toilet.
David Beckham looks into the bowl and it's just that. All right.
It's got a bend in it.
Sign my face.
You missed that. It was gold.
Oh, that is good.
Honestly, you're having a piss next to David Beckham. Are you telling me you're not gonna?
Are you having a look?
Fucking right. I'm
Right,
having a
yeah,
look.
you got it right, yeah.
What golden balls?
Yeah. Just for the story.
Yeah.
I'm not going to touch it.
No, hopefully.
Have you heard Gaza talking about touching Les Ferdinand's? I think at the Euros '96.
We're entering Rocky Road here on this sponsored
Make sure-
video.
Honestly,
make sure
it's
you
a
quote it
fucking
accurately.
all-time Gaza story.
What's this?
Gaza wanted to hold Les Ferdinand's cock before he went out for good luck. Les
Obviously.
Ferdinand wasn't so keen, did it, and then he scores that goal against Scotland.
That was before that game.
Yeah. So there you go.
So then he was like, "Gizzled your cock, Les."
Before every game. Oh, God. See, that's the sort of thing that you don't want to attribute something like that to good luck.
Kind of ruined now,
'Cause
innit?
it's-
You see Gaza whistling it over and bosh, and you
Yeah.
think he got the energy from holding Les Ferdinand's chopper.
When that goal went in. Oh,
He's going to want to hold me cock again.
Quarters. No.
I'm really excited for this, though.
But yeah, so it's 99. Is it a series? Because it fucking should have been.
No, I
if
think
they could
it's
make
a-
8 hours out of the fucking Chicago Bulls, how are we only getting an hour and a half out of this?
Yeah.
I know. It is mad.
Because do you know how many times that means I'm going to watch this now?
Constantly. It's just going to be
Yeah, it
what
might
we
just be a
do.
screensaver.
I know. I think the next brew is probably just me and you watching it.
Just watching
talking.
it. Just live. Just there. He's on live there, and it's us two talking about watching it.
Do you think it'll be
Get rid
better
of that.
than the
Yeah.
98-99 season review video? Do you think it'll actually be better than
Right.
that? Because that's
If
my favourite bit of film ever.
If I had to tell you, Joe, the number of times I have watched the 98, 99 and I had it on tape, because obviously.
Me too.
That I've watched that video is probably about 25 times, which isn't a lot, but it is also a lot. And the number of times that I've gotten to the final and then put the final on might be about 5, which also isn't a lot, but it's a lot.
What, and then, as in, watch the full 90?
Yeah.
And it is.
Champions League final 99.
It's one hell of a full 90.
That's an awful game.
I tell you what you should
But
do.
you know,
Yeah,
you're
it's
getting
easy
the
to watch
reward
it
in the last 3 minutes.
because it's actually laughable when you watch it how shit.
Yeah, and that's
the
all you
game
do.
is.
I've never done it alone because that'd be weird.
Yeah.
But I've always done it with mates, and the conversation's very, very different to what I remember it being in '99. Like, I remember being a little bit depressed.
I was
little bit
absolutely livid out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was still celebrating Teddy's goal when Ollie scored, and I remember thinking, "Swear Ollie didn't score." That's what was on the floor in my local. Like, we're on the floor, absolutely.
On the floor.
Honestly, we're on the floor.
I love that.
And we're like rolling on, just going berserk, just like having a fit.
I'd love
it's
to
a
see the
collective
footage
fit.
of that.
Just
Oh,
glass everywhere.
imagine.
Like,
So
mate
good.
just flips up the table with loads of pints on it. We were all just on the deck.
He was just desperate to do that the whole game.
Yeah,
wasn't
he was.
Just any excuse to flip the
Yeah.
He
table.
walked in, saw it, went, noted.
His missus
If
was
we
sat with
lose,
her
that's
mates
going
as
up,
well.
and if we win, that is
His
going
missus
up.
was sat in a corner of her mates, and they all got covered in beer glass, and they were fuming. And we were on the floor, and I just remember thinking, I swear I didn't score. And he's like realised we'd won it, and it was
Back to the floor, lads.
it was just a fit.
Where was you?
I was in my front room. My dad was at the game, and me and my 2 sisters were watching it in the front room.
That's class.
I just remember screaming and the neighbours banging on the wall to make us be quiet.
You know,
So good.
in the Mossvale
Burn
pub,
your house down.
in the Mossvale pub in Dayview, we was going to go there. We didn't. Went to was it the where did we go to? What's it called? Anyway, went to what used to be Aces in Ermston. In the Mossvale, after Teddy's goal, everyone went berserk, and the screen got damaged, and it went off. So they didn't know we'd scored the winner. They didn't get to see the winner, and so
Where were you?
afterwards,
Ibiza.
oh, mate, that's a venue. That
It was in a bull bar in Ibiza, right?
that's
What's that
ridiculous.
It had one of those mechanical bulls in it.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, obviously. So we've left me mum and dad and all that lot. So we're 15.
So you're 4 years younger than me. You're 15.
So
right?
it's we've got to watch it somewhere we can have a drink. Just don't judge us. It's fucking 15.
Yeah.
It's 30 pesetas. Do you know how fucking that's a
fair,
Freddo kind of
That's
price?
mint when you're 15 years old because you can well get served, can't you?
Yeah.
Over there.
Also,
So you're
what the
not
legal
having any
drinking age probably
drama.
16 then.
Yeah, I know. But it was
Yeah.
like cans
That's
of
class, that.
lager that taste like absolute toilet.
Yeah.
Was like 30 pesetas.
Brilliant.
Yeah. If you had a bit of dough on you and you had like maybe a pound, you could get a Cruz Campo. But we were on the St. Peter's, which is 30 pesetas. Yeah. So anyway, me and my mate Stu, Prinny, for those who know him, because he does occasionally appear on videos sometimes. We're in a bull bar in Ibiza, and we've gone in there. It's 15-year-old lads having a bit, and can't work out if it's United in here or not.
Yeah.
Big screen on, he's hammered. Everyone's just a bloke, but no one's like wearing replica shirts, nothing like that. They score, place erupts, got fucked full of Germans.
Shit.
Because we was like, we had the conversation. If we score, do we jump up or not? Now, obviously, when we do score, you don't even think about it, and you're on your feet. And so's half the bar, and you're like, oh, I don't know what happened there, but whatever. And we're having it, and then we were both sunburnt to fuck as well.
Obviously. Just no sun cream, complete, just lines everywhere, socks,
just fucked.
T-shirt.
And then we're watching it on it's a small telly. Like people nowadays, we screen like that. The screen behind his cameras is that an 80-inch? That is. It's fucking huge, right?
Yeah.
We would have been watching it on a screen a quarter of the size of that over there.
Yeah.
Like I don't know who scored. It's nothing. And then obviously we get the corner again, and Prinny goes, "We're getting another here." Just. And then obviously it goes off. We go fucking turbo. We're in the beach bar. The bull bar is on the beach. We're in the fucking sea.
Oh, mate,
we're just
that's
having it
so good.
fucking right off. We get
So
back
good.
to my mum and dad's apartment. My dad's got a bottle of fucking champagne. We're spraying each other and everything. I've got my Erik the King flag. Fucking brilliant.
Mate,
Brilliant.
That's sick, innit? That is. Was you back in time for the parade?
No, I'm still there.
Oh, was ya? Mate, that was a parade, that.
Brilliant.
I loved it.
Any word on Arsenal at the weekend? Is it
Don't ruin the mood.
people calling it a...
Hey, listen, seriously, don't ruin the mood.
Lose,
I'm having a
lose.
fucking right good reminisce here.
Do you want to beat Arsenal?
So, what are we going to ask any of these people that we see there tonight? So Andrew Cole's going, I believe.
Yeah.
Roy Keane's not going.
No, Roy Keane's not involved.
Saddens
I
me a
don't think
bit.
he likes that Champions League final, does he?
No,
He doesn't. I don't think he thinks he's won it. He doesn't.
I remember on the
Ollie's
parade.
there, Teddy's there. Would you speak to any of them? I'm going to speak to. I might even text Teddy as well and say.
Such a high roller. Right.
Well, I accidentally texted him. We spoke about it on the brew. I might text him and say, "Hey, listen, sorry for randomly texting you, but I'm actually at a thing tonight. Do you want a picture?"
Then he'll think that first text was definitely deliberate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I knew I'd be getting invited to the premiere of this 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Teddy's ace, man. Love Teddy. I love Teddy Sheringham.
What
so much.
if we see Ollie? Do we just cuddle him?
Yeah. I just want to say, your team is the happiest I've been since Sir Alex left United. Regardless of it was the best time to be a United fan.
I reckon I can say all of that in a cuddle.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
into his ear really quietly, but just loud enough for him to hear it.
Yes, that's not my phone in my pocket.
Who's getting chucked out first? That was
Oh,
I'm not drinking. I mean, I've got 2 hours to change my mind.
He's
but
escorted from the building.
I might
Escorted
have a
from the
bev or
toilets after following David Beckham there again. And Beckham's
Just
like,
going, lads.
I'm not being funny.
Fucking hell.
So, anyone that you want to speak to. Fucking Albert the Kitman's wiggled his way in there.
Yeah, it'd be good.
I don't know. Like Sheringham, Stam.
I didn't see
one.
Stam on the list.
Oh mate, he'd
it's a
be
shame.
one because he's a bit more aloof. Someone that you don't see that often.
Yeah, you don't.
Because I've interviewed some of them when I was working on the radio.
Peter Schmeichel's going.
Do you know what?
You need to speak to him.
Say what?
You need to squash the beef.
There isn't a beef though, is
It's
there?
a one-sided
Nah,
beef.
do you know what I mean? It's one-sided.
He's not
It's
even aware
beef
of.
in the sense that beef is, which is a farmer shooting a cow in the head. This is the most sort of genuine beef, really, isn't it? He has no idea who you are or that you don't like him.
And
you
he
want
wouldn't
to
care
kill him.
if he knew. He
exactly.
would
And you
not
wanna
give a
empty
shit.
him out in a field.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know
You
what
want
I
to hang
mean?
him upside
I
down
was
and
like,
slit his throat.
listen, I'll go and say hello to Raymond van der Gaal.
So Beckham's there, but I think we all,
unfair.
as much as I promise you, we will try.
Yeah.
One, he'd never say anything interesting. Yeah. 2, I don't think you're getting within 50 feet of him.
No.
Are you not on some of their radars? Have you not dealt with any of them?
I know Gary Neville.
You've got Teddy Sheringham's phone number. How's that happened?
I know Gary Neville enough to Gary Neville would say
been on the
hello, but I
overlap,
don't know if
but I
it'd
don't
be
know if
more
he'd know
than
who I
I don't think he'd be like, oh, I wanted to talk to you about Black. I don't think that's a thing.
Are any of the current players going, do you think? Very possible.
I think they're all fucking grounded, Joe,
Yeah,
and as they
probably.
should be. Or the other flip side of that is Erik Ten Hag texts him and goes, "Do you remember what this club stands for?
Yeah.
You fucking pricks."
I could easily imagine a lot of the under-18s
Nah, I
being
didn't
there.
see Fergie's name on that.
I'd love to meet Sir Alex, though. That would just be the best thing. I'm too scared.
I don't want you to.
All I'm going to say to Fergie is,
Why? Well, you're a dickhead.
we all know why.
Why not?
We all know why, Joe.
Jay wants him to be the only one who's done it.
You've done the best thing that any of us have done, right, on this table.
Yeah,
even
it's true.
him, and about the fact he does a fucking show with Rio Ferdinand every week. You have still eclipsed that,
Yeah.
so you can fuck off.
Okay. For anyone who doesn't know, just had a little evening with Eric Cantona, a little private style.
And
Everyone's heard it anyway.
Didn't take a photo.
I know,
just kept
and I
it so
respect that
chill
so
and low
much,
key. And
mate.
Joe, I bet Eric respected
I
that.
know, it infuriates me that Eric Cantona probably knows who you are and likes you. Fucking knobhead.
So the only other option is how do we top that? Do I top that by having a look at David Beckham's bent?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that might just top it. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
not the
close.
first time the word predator has been associated with David Beckham, is
Yeah,
it?
don't worry about it.
It's usually his boots.
The other angle is what? I get.
The other angle is...
What if we
maybe-
get Peter Schmeichel and Jay a snog?
Well, here's the thing, Steve. There's also the other option that we go there, watch the film and go home.
Oh, fuck off, Joe.
There's the other
You know
option.
we can do that.
Joe, it is a premiere.
Yeah.
90% of the squad is there.
Yeah.
If there's no shenanigans, we failed this lot.
Okay.
We failed this lot. Unless,
Sure.
if me and Jay on the brew tomorrow are like, so what happened at nothing, we watched the film, it was pretty good, you should probably watch it.
If the
You're probably going to
proof
watch
doesn't
it.
happen because we're both in Talbot Road police station, then we've succeeded. needed.
Bingo.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is a success story.
There has to be a story from tonight.
Yeah.
No, it might be Dwight York recognising me from prank calling him and filling me in.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Yeah, I tried to bring Ash because I was like, this would be hilarious.
And plus, a bit of backup, you never know.
Dwight York can shoot you. You're not allowed to hit him back though. You just got to let him. You just got to take.
You got to go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't know. I mean, there's too many people, and the interaction that you're going to get with them is too brief to say anything of any meaning, unless it's David Beckham's sausage having a wee. And I reckon he's probably got his own toilet.
Probably. Yeah. Don't I like King Charles?
Where's a bit there?
They say hello to him. Although
He's all right.
You did.
Is he
bail on
going?
him the last time you were meant to meet.
Yeah,
him.
but you know,
You
respect
You did bail on him the last
He was
time you were
very,
meant to meet him.
very ill.
When?
He was very poorly.
Dublin.
He went to the airport and he was ill.
See, Wes on the way in. He was like, hey, what's going on? I was like, I'm going home.
I'm
He's
going
like,
home.
what?
So maybe you can explain that.
Really
Maybe you can
confused
explain
Wes
yourself
Brown.
to Wes Brown. The best thing to do when you get there is latch on to someone like Jonathan Green and just chat to him.
Yeah, they're like a sort of
I mean?
use them as almost like the needle, the intravenous
No
needle.
disrespect
They
to
will
the guy,
inject
but
you
a
into
lot of people
the
probably aren't going to be
circle.
bothering him.
Well, Gene might do that.
Yeah.
Because he's a busy fucker, isn't he?
Yeah. And then others come along to say hello to him and you're like, oh.
Hi, I'm
How
going
are you?
as
I mean, what do we say to them? What do we say to them? Hey, man, we're good.
I love you.
Yeah, I love you and thank you.
Yeah, thank you that we saw this, because if I fucking saw this, what it was tonight, I don't think anyone's making a documentary about this unless it going in the horror section.
That's true. Lovely.
Well, yeah, well said.
Right, let's call it a day. Thank you very much to Green King for sponsoring the show. Make sure you go and check them out. Big giveaway, innit, Jay? Huge man pin giveaway. Make sure you check out Green King. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Jay. Thank you for watching at home. We'll see you in a bit.